The media says that the Crimson Tide is on a bye week, and I guess the athletic department probably told them that, like, you know, they deserve some rest. I, for one, I vote or I move, is this Robert Rules of Order, that perhaps Coach DeBoer, keeps it going. It institutes a second summer training with mandatory tour days. Why stop now? Let's talk about the Crimson Tide right here around the herd. Everybody come on in. Let me see the NFL. I'm glad to put myself with power in the way. No time soon. Let's preserve the playoffs. Thank you guys for thumbing over and joining me today on whichever virtual space you have found. Roll Tide to everybody. Come on in. Roll Tide. Come on in, sit a spell, tell a friend to lock me in, and let's talk about our Crimson Tide, the greatest football dynasty that the world has ever seen. share a pound with me if you would. And drop that pound right on the subscribe button as you settle in. Come on in, catch a vibe, and help the Tide thrive. And don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to subscribe. Blast this channel all to everybody you know, and in no time flat, we will be a 5-sub channel. I can see it. Right as the Crimson Tide wins their 19th championship, we should be at 11,732 subscriptions. Did that work? Anyway, come on in, y'all. No music day today. Trying this without the music. But now I'm off my rhythm. And you know what I like to say. If I successfully stimulate the happy juice in your gray matter and make your funny bone jiggle, please do not forget to poke that like button right in the eye so the algorithm know what we're doing over here. This is different without my music. I don't like it without the music. Anyway, getting right down to business. I think the Tide finished strong against Wisconsin. However, when I was watching the game, I don't know about you, I jotted down a few little notes from the first half. I felt we started off slow in the first 2 offensive drives. The defense was pretty much on point the entire game, but we were slow. That first run play we did, it got stuffed. I want to run the ball, but I don't expect to get stuffed by Wisconsin. So if you get stuffed by Wisconsin, what happens when you hit SEC play on the first play of the drive? I mean, of the game, actually. The first run play, stuffed. Tackle for loss. And I didn't like that. And then there was a penalty. And we went for it on 4th and 2. I think we started a pass play. I think there should have been a flag, but I'm like, why? Why? You know, we still, as I watched the game, there was no commitment to the run for the backs at least. And the backs, you know, you owe the fans the backs because one of the running backs got destroyed on a block on a blitz from a linebacker, and he destroyed Ty right after that. So you owe us running backs. We gotta let the running backs earn it back when they do stuff like that. Get a man the ball and let him go give some pain to that linebacker. That was the second quarter. I don't know if that was Richard Young. I think it was. I don't think it was Riley. But Daniel Hill didn't even play. He's the best blocking back. He's a big body back. I thought you would have hit him with the sledgehammer first to wear him out, get him tired. I'm just looking at these things. I'm not looking at Wisconsin. I'm looking at Georgia and Tennessee and others. I'm not looking at what these Wisconsin, this is scrimmages. We got scrimmages all the way up to Georgia. We had an exam at the beginning of class that we failed miserably, by the way. So then we got these little scrimmages getting ready for Georgia. So if I had to give you a grade right now, you got an F against the Florida State. You got an F. That's an F. ULM, you dismantled them. I give you an A-, and I give you an A- because a team like Alabama probably should have scored 100. They probably should have scored 100. We played 3 quarterbacks, so I give you an A and then a minus because you probably should have had 100. Could have had an A-. And then against was it an A performance against Wisconsin? I don't think so. When I realize who you are, and then I hear all the chatter, and I'll talk about that later. Like, the adversity. The beginning of the season, lose a game, adversity, that's supposed to get you crunk. Anyway, so let's say I give you a B+. Is that a C+ average? Because the emphasis is way down here against Florida State. Emphasis pull your grade way down. I know some of y'all don't do that arithmetic in your head like I do. But so we got work to do because it's some A, B programs coming up pretty soon. First of all, every program in the SEC that we're going to play is probably ranked. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they have weaknesses that we should decimate, but they're ranked. They're SEC teams, they're SEC programs. They're a great SEC. Now, the defense stepped up big, especially right after we missed out on a 4th and 2. Bray Hubbard got that pick. He got a pick. The defense put pressure on the whole game on the starting quarterback. They were playing like a bunch of madmen out there. They were sacking that guy, and they sacked him early, kept him under pressure. You know, we ended up with 4 sacks. Love it. I love all of it, but I love all the sacks really. But that one by London Simmons was just epic to me. Young man gets in the game, second quarter, it was special. You 18 years old. I'm assuming he's 18 years old. He went up under a Wisconsin lineman, and I ain't seen no Wisconsin lineman, offensive lineman under 300 pounds in probably 53 years. And I have not been on this earth for 53 years, if I'm not mistaken. Now, he got up under his pads, lifted him up, dismantled him like a bag of trash, and got the quarterback. That's the potential that kid has now. With all the reps and the rips and the techniques and the drills, that's what he does now. We got linemen. I want to see them, they're getting their chance to get some good experience, though, for, a person his level. And I say Yaaayyyy, I got to be careful with that. He was putting pressure on the quarterback. He didn't get home all the time. He's undersized lineman, but the man uses his speed to get in there. I like that. But that was a special time. That man, he reaped that doggone quarterback. Now, I told my audience early, special teams was going to be a problem. I said it's going to cost us a half a game, and you saw. I think that broke the team spirit. That's why they ended up getting the 14th point to me. I mean, it was like, well, they'll score so we ahead. So I think it messed us up. Now, what was crazy about that kickoff return, I don't know if y'all realize this, and maybe you heard somebody say it or whatever. That man ran out of the field, nobody touched him. I'm not saying that University of Alabama ain't never let a kick return go back, but for nobody to just tear at your shirt, hit you on your leg, make you stumble, you bust through 2 guys, blocking 2 of our guys. Nobody touched him. The next person that touched him was the referee or like a cameraman or like a cheerleader or something. Nobody would pass on touch this man at all. That's just unusual. I don't like it. I've had a bad special team weekend. I got a grown man playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, let the ball go straight over his head on kickoff, and he just looked at it like for a touchdown. That's another team, another story. That's in a land far, far, far away. But that just really messed me up. But, all in all, we gained momentum. This is far, but it was far from the first snap to the end. We gained momentum, but we need to start, come out just firing shots. Like blam, 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 just blasting right out of the defense and offense, special team. Everybody need to be flamed up in that first quarter. Now, Coach DuBois said that there's been an edge since the FSU game. I'll talk about that in a minute. He said there's an edge. I was reading the article, and he said, of course, we got decimated, embarrassed by, some people's opinion. In my opinion, we got embarrassed. We got led astray. The team was sitting there just eating all they had the rat poison. They ain't put it in the oatmeal or the Fruit Loops. They had it in the Gatorade. All the rat poison, all the doggone media telling everybody, telling the whole Crimson Tide Nation, this room is number 1, that room's number 1, that room's top 10, this room is top 5, this room, and we went out there and got blasted because Florida State don't have nobody in none of them damn rooms they was talking about. Except one person. Thomas Castellanos wasn't even in the quarterback conversation as Florida State having a great. Nobody on that team was in the room. But you know what room they was in? They was in the ass-kicking room. That's what room they was in. That's what Florida State was. That's where we used to live. We built the room. We put the roof on it and the walls. That's what Florida State is. They in the ass-kicking room. That's the room we need to be in. So we had a rat poison. We went down there and we lost the game, broke a two-decade streak of, losing, beating unranked opponents, whatever it was, winning the first game, whatever streak it broke. Critics came after DuBois, like crazy, like they should, like we gonna do. But instead of folding up, they went back and they came out in the last 2 games. They've beat opponents 111-14. That's making some kind of statement. But we know who we was playing. It was ULM. It was Wisconsin. Wisconsin just changed their whole offense. When you change your offense, it's easier to change the offense than it is to change the players. I learned that from one of my Auburn friends. They said that's what happened to Gene Chizik. He was flipping his offense and got fired because the offense looked so horrible. That's what Finkel is doing right now at Wisconsin. He got a little shifty offense when they want to go to a power game. They ain't got it yet. So they're in transition. ULM is who they are. So we made a statement, but I don't know how it was. But, the boy says that, the adversity didn't break them. It built them up. There's an edge. Translation is, I guess, a fire has been lit. It's burning clean. Well, I need that fire to burn mean and clean. I mean, the team discipline off the field has improved. As you can see how it's kind of translating on the field. They want to be, they're more productive in what they're doing from practice to field. But like I said, we know who we were playing. Tide did jump from number 21 to number 14. Okay. It's a little bit of a resurgence. But, the boy said he wasn't dodging the loss. He's owning it. I heard him in press conference. He owned it. But, he said hit hard and made the team sharper, tougher, and hungrier. So the Tide's next test, forget that. The next midterm part 1 will come against Georgia, who is no cupcakes. We ain't got no cupcakes really on I saw Missouri play. We ain't got no cupcakes. Ain't no cupcake. The cupcake time is over. I know we got to do something, the homecoming play against somebody, but, you still, you're trying to win 16 games in a year, 16, 17, somewhere around there. But that heat is about to hit hard. So both teams have a bye, and then September 27th, I think we go over there to Athens and they get it on. So this ain't a rest time. It's like reloading, recuperation. And like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing them go to some kind of 2 a day, even if they just sitting doing chalk talk. They need to stay in whatever this is. Because like Kane Womack kind of said, we popped it up into about 3rd gear, but he knows there's other levels that their defense can play at. I say that for the whole team, especially special teams. Punters doing well, Talty, kickers doing well, and all the rest of them people that got to tackle people, they need to work on the lanes and all that stuff and responsibility and integrity of the – they got to work on all that. A man ran down the field scot-free. If you didn't know better, you thought you were looking at warm-ups. So the boys' message was clear that adversity isn't the enemy, it's the fuel. And that Alabama's tank is on full. Let me say this. It should not take a disaster to motivate my Crimson Tide. You got statues, you got stats, you got trophies, you got NFL jerseys, you got legacy all over the walls of the locker room, the practice field, probably in the toilet. You probably sit down on the toilet in the Alabama athletic complex as a player, and I don't know what they got in there. It just had the years to the championships or something around. Why does it take you losing under all that legacy to get motivated? If all that stuff does not motivate you and help you to lock in on where in the hell you are playing or coaching, then you might be at the wrong place. You might be at the wrong place. If you see 6 statues outside, you see 18 championships, you're going to look and see all the rings. And you like, I need something to spur me. Oh, I know if we get a loss, I'll get motivated. I'll appreciate the scholarship offer and the NIL money and all the fans. And if you don't get locked in by walking into that thing and somebody tells you, this athletic facility costs like $80 million. I'm just throwing a number out there. I know whatever. If you don't see all the computers that you don't see down at your old Planet Fitness, that you didn't see at your high school, how you got trainers sitting there waiting like, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. You ready? Ready to put you through the paces to take you into professional status, if not legendary status at the University of Alabama. I can't help motivate you. Don't tell me you take you to lose to get motivated, because that's not what that is. It's not motivation. That's desperation. Been there. You get laid off. Oh, yeah, you take some opportunities you don't normally take. We all be in the death. Don't tell me that's motivation, not to a normal person. I know. People can disagree with me. Yeah, you get motivation, you get turned up. I don't care about other teams. I'm talking about this one. Don't tell me, coach or player, that once we lost, the fire was lit. What? That's just dumb. Coach DeBoer gave an update on the injuries. Seems like Jamarian Miller will be back for the Georgia game. He's the top rusher for the Tide. We kind of really need him now because, like I said, after that running back got destroyed on that blitz from that linebacker and we gave up a sack, I didn't feel good about that because you got to have a running back that can actually stop the guy from hitting the quarterback. He probably won't be full. He won't get the full number of carries, but they'll try to work him back into it, hopefully early. And he's itching to get back at it. Tim Keenan is on the comeback tour. They say his post tightrope surgery. That's where they drill a little hole through your ankle, and they put some of that Trilene or screen or is it strand? A fishing line through there. It's not. It's surgical line, but it is like fishing line. You can't fish with that stuff. I know you can. But he's expected to suit up against Georgia. They don't think he'll get the full number of plays, but he or she should be back. LT Overton left the game in Wisconsin early. They say he'll be back in the lineup in 2 weeks. I don't know if he got hit in the head or what happened. He did walk off on his own power. So I don't know what the issue was. They say he'll be back. But, with Keenan being out and getting ready to ramp up, London Simmons, still, like I say, he's stepping to the spotlight. He's handling his responsibilities. And, like I say, he did get a sack. I don't know how many tackles he ended up with, but, it's not a lot of pressure with this kid. I mean, he's filling in the shoes of a starter, of a future NFL prospect. He's top 25, I think, in the NFL as far as the prospects of defensive linemen. And they draft a lot of linemen every year. But, he landed a sack against a Big Ten opponent. This wasn't ULM. Their line is pretty legit. They're going to a lot of them guys we saw, no matter what you think about Wisconsin, they may be coming to your present team. My Steelers is laced full of a lot of players from the defensive side of the Wisconsin team. Yeah, shocks me too. Kevin Riley's been holding down the backfield in Miller's absence with solid numbers. And but the Tide's ready for the OG to come back and reclaim his throne. 600 carries, no turnovers. I say that it's like I'm trying to jinx him or something, but I'm really not. It'd be great to have him back. Like I said, man, like y'all go back and find that play. I think it was second quarter. It was one-on-one. Running back versus linebacker, and dude got destroyed. I mean, but when you see how he was standing, when you see how he received the blitz, he had no leverage, and he got destroyed. So the boy's not sugarcoating it. Injuries are a part of the game, but progression is the name of the game. So, we got to make sure we got the snap counts down and get everybody out there and get them ready because we got a long season to go. There will be other bumps and bruises. He just remembered that Jan was doing well before. And, the boy's out there playing conductor. He's making sure, we got people in place to go. The offensive line is flipping people, and people even talk about it on Thursday, like what's the best line that we have right now. But it looks like we have done a great job of developing at least 7 to 8 people who can play on the offensive line, whether they're the best lineup or not. But, sometimes you're on the left. If you got 8 and somebody get hurt, one of them 7 got to go. So you got to get people some snaps. So Georgia is looming large, but, the boy, he's calm, calculated, and quietly confident, I guess. And he's not going to panic. He's talking about preparation, folks. So I want to look at a couple of stats after these 3 games to see what a team is. So I dug this out of collegefootballstats.com. Right now, the Crimson Tide is ranked 22nd in scoring per game at 42.7 points per game, which is pretty good. 22nd. That puts you in the upper, upper 80th percentile, top 20%. So that's pretty good because I don't care about you getting 40, you're doing good. I mean, if you can get 40, but, we know 73 points came from ULM. Rushing yards per game, we are 106th. That is a problem. Running the ball is not something you just develop when you feel like it. Well, okay, we're gonna start running the ball right now because we down by 10. We need to slow this thing down. This has been a thing. This has been a thing. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. 123 yards per. We ought to have a running back averaging 123 yards a game, not the whole dang team. Now they are 13th in passing. But let's just check the stats. A lot of that came against ULM, playing 3 quarterbacks, 7 touchdowns. That did not come against FSU so much, although Ty had a wonderful game. I think he threw for 225, maybe, I don't know, 200. But we're 13th for the nation right now, with a quarter of the regular season has gone by against non-SEC opponents. 13th is a good place to be. I don't care about that. I care about running the ball because that's what's hard. And it's a reason for running the ball like that, because you're trying to eat the clock up. You're trying to take the legs away from the defense. And that's what you want to do. Total offense per game, we are ranked 37th, which is not so bad. 459.3 yards per game, but maybe we should be at 500. Maybe we should be at 500. Or maybe we should be at 475 and run the ball a lot more. That's a decent number at 37th, but wouldn't it be nice to be in the top 25 or top 20? If you stay in the top 20, at least in as many positive categories as you can, you're probably going to crack the top 10 in some very important categories. It's probably going to turn you into a champion. That's just me. It's just the numbers. Go research all the champions and you'll see that they were way high in a lot of categories. Third down conversions. The Crimson Tide is ranked 38th in third down conversions, but we convert 47%. Got to get that number up. I would love to see that number at 65%. I didn't even look to see. I was so disappointed in the 47%. I didn't even look to see what's a good number. Usually I look up there and see what's good. And we're probably tied for 38th with a lot of other teams because it's kind of early in the season. But I just think that you at least you don't want to be like every other time we have the ball and we get a third down, we go into the sideline. I think that's because of an ineffective running game. Because an effective running game is going to put you in 2nd and 7 and 2nd and 6 most of the time in the first quarter. And that 2nd and 7, 2nd and 6 in the first quarter turns into 2nd and 2s and 2nd and 2s and 2nd and 3s in the third quarter. Because them boys be tired, boss. That defense, don't make me go back out there. Time of possession. 55th. No good. 55th in the country in time of possession. We hold on to the ball an average of 30 minutes, 51 seconds a game. So that means we let them have the ball half of the game and we keep the ball half of the game. I would implore Coach DeBoer to do everything he can to get that number close to 40 minutes as he can. You know how to do that? Run the ball. Defensive categories. A little bit better picture over there. Points allowed per game. It's 35th, but it's 15 points. I mean, they can shave off 1 or 2, get that down to like 10. That would be great. That would be excellent. But in this league that we have, superior 15 is not bad. But raise your hand if you think that's going to go up against SEC competition. We know who we played. And how many did FSU score? He scored 31. So it goes up to like 21. That's a problem. If it goes up to 17, not so much of a problem. But I really would suggest that people work hard over the next 2 weeks to get that thing down to 13 heading into the playoffs. If you want to go to playoffs. If you don't want to go to playoffs and think we should go, we stay at home, make some butter cookies. That's cool. It's Christmas time anyway. Why be bothered? Make mine sugar cookies, by the way. Total yards allowed per game, 246. We know who we played, but we are ranked 23rd in the nation. Passing yards per game. That DB room had his missteps, but they are ranked 8th in the country. That's the top 10 in passing yards allowed per game. So that includes that's a good performance against Florida State, although our problem was the run game there because Castellanos didn't throw the ball a lot. Like, I don't know if he was always calling RPOs, run pass options, but he decided to run a lot of times. Sometimes he just had to run. Rushing yards allowed per game, I could not believe this is exactly where it was last year. 138 yards per game. 138 yards per game. That's crazy. That ain't gonna work. That leaves the Tide at 78th in the nation. I mean, I want to
perfect.
Is there anything that this team could do
aspect of the game, you drop
to get better at the run game and stopping the run? Is it the scheme? I got evidence that it was a scheme. They need to do something.
And then you will run a mile. Perfection.
I don't even know if they're getting better or worse. 138. Florida State did 172. I think it's 172. Yeah, 172. Going to SEC play, you think it's going to be a problem? Raise your hand if you think it's going to be a problem. I'm here to say that's going to be a problem. Have we played against any dynamic backs? Do we have any dynamic backs coming up? We got some dynamic quarterbacks coming up. May catch a break because some quarterbacks may not want to run as much since they're getting close to the pros or their opportunity to play in the pros. But on 78th, I can't remember. It's 135 teams, I think. That's way down there. That's way down there. And we ain't played nobody. And third down conversions. We're ranked 114. A lot of that probably came out of that Florida State game. We are 114th out of 130-some teams in opponents' third down conversions. 45% of the time, we allow other teams to get their first downs. That number needs to be in the low 30s. So they got work to do. I don't want to hear nothing about no vacation and all the other stuff. Tackles for loss. We average 6.3 tackles for loss for every game. That ranks us 48th. It's 130-some teams. That's in the top third, but just remember who we played. I don't even know we had a tackle for loss against doggone Florida State. Sacks, 99th in the country. And we got most of them Saturday against Wisconsin. I was glad to see it, but I'm like, calm it down. Team penalties. 93rd in the country. 20 penalties, 6.7 per game. I think that gives us 65 yards per game we give up. Halfway to a touchdown, we definitely get them. That means we get them at least 3 points because nobody starts really on the 10. People start really on the 15 or 20. Nobody starts from 10. So if you do 67 yards per game, you're giving up in penalties. You're giving up 3 points every game. Now, that number is coming down, but man. And turnover margin is pretty good because they're pretty good taking the ball away. I think we get 2 per game, whatever it is. The turnover margin for the team is +2. Now, I'm just pointing out the numbers. I pointed it up. The team has a lot of work to do because we saw Florida State. That was a major exam. We was way too early for us to test ourselves like that, but it is what it is. That's where we ended up. It don't matter. We still have work to do. Now, before I forget, like I did last week, I want to go and review my picks, starting with the games I called. I think I knew I called them all against the spread. I do not remember who I said would win in every instance, but I just knew I'm better off with doing the spread because that's where it really matters. There's no skill in calling the winners or the losers. Starting up, Colorado versus Houston. Now, I picked Houston to win this game, but I did not know it was going to look like that. I mean, Prime has had a tough year from health-wise, and he's been struggling, and thank God he did get his cancer cure. But I just starting that third-string quarterback instead of the guy who transferred in from Liberty and instead of Juju from Georgia, #1 quarterback in the country, it makes me think that this is either a catastrophic move starting this third-string guy or it's an escape plan. Because if we get to the end of the season and the Salter guy, he just go ahead and redshirt and take his last year elsewhere and play somewhere else. Juju gets allowed to take a red shirt at the end of the season and go somewhere else and play his another 4 years out, or the rest of his 4 years out. This could be an escape plan for those guys. And the guy that's starting there, Staub, whatever his name is, nobody's going to let him be a starting quarterback except Deion Sanders, because he cares a lot about him. This is his guy time to shine, because if it was ever time to bench somebody, it was the other night. He didn't have it. I just don't think that I watched the first game. I didn't see the guy play that bad. But this guy, he played like a third string quarterback. He had 2 healthy people over there, but it could be his health. I think maybe this is an escape plan by playing people like that. Kansas State versus Arizona. I knew Fafita was going to do it. Fafita is dynamic to me. He may be robbed because he's a little undersized, but 23-17. I just knew Arizona was going to pull that off. Clemson versus Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech finally came through. I think this is the 3rd season I've had this. I call Georgia Tech all the time because I just don't like Dabo. Clemson won it. They beat them down. They got him in their house. They dragged him in the house, and they took him. They took him down. They took him down hard. I mean, I don't know what. Rat poison. What's his name? The quarterback over there for Clemson. Oh, it's either him or Nussmeier, number 1 or 2 in the draft. Really? I don't know why. I mean, you can read the articles. That's what they all said. Nussmeier doing his thing with this dude over here. I can't even remember his name no more. He just plays so averagely. Not bad, just average. The average guy. South Alabama at Auburn. Boy, South Alabama at Auburn, man. What is going on? Man, them dudes are 3-0, but 15-31? What was going on down there in Auburn? What was going on? 30? Is South Florida up like that now? Huh? Is that the saving effect? They got what is it? Tommy, I can't think of that guy's name. Major Applewhite is the head coach for South Alabama. Is it the saving effect? Is that? No, he's a graduate of the Capstone Coaching Clinic. He was the first offensive coordinator under Saban. They ceremoniously got him up out of there because they was in a pinch, so they gave the man a job. But look at him now. Went to Auburn and raised a little heck. USF and Miami. This game surprised me because Miami put that thing on them. They put that thing on USF. No more of this playing around. Miami toughened up. They played through the toughness. You guys want to run the ball on them. They was like, nope, you're not on my level. And they let them know you're not on my level. It was a break in the rain, a break in the game because of the rain or storming. But they came back out and Miami didn't miss a beat. Hats off to them. They did that. They put USF in their place, unlike Florida, who got put in their place. Texas A&M Notre Dame, what a heck of a game, man. To go to Notre Dame and win is hard because everything is against you. Everything is against you.
You are so full of crap.
Against them. It went up in there and they played against a mighty Notre Dame.
And you can hardly a speck of athletics
in their house. Please tell me Texas A&M is not on our schedule. Please tell me Texas. I do not want no Mike Elko right now. Not how we looking. Y'all just don't understand. To do that in Notre Dame is kind of special. It is. I'm just telling you that's a special performance from a special team. Glad we don't play them in the regular season. Florida and LSU. I don't know. I think Florida they have an offense problem. They got defense. And LSU still kind of, maybe they was coming off the big win, so maybe they was a little off. But LSU's on their way. And the big shocker, not really a shocker, because I said Vandy was I said South Carolina wouldn't cover this game. I thought South Carolina would win. But then when Lenore Sellers got hurt, they went on to get routed. Talking about having one player to hold your whole team down, 31-7. And Vanderbilt ain't nothing, it ain't what it used to be. And I'm glad it's one of them. They're glad they're not what they used to be, but they put that thing down. That means they ain't got nothing. If Lenore Sellers come back, I'm trying to do everything that's possible as a head coach to neutralize him, because South Carolina has nothing. Don't have no defense. Borderline on whether they got pride. 31-7. But he that broke their spirit. They were unprepared to play without him. And I think they still brought a dual threat quarterback in the game and did nothing. The one that got me, Arkansas and Ole Miss, I thought Arkansas was going to cause some trouble. So I said, I took Arkansas in points. I took the 7 points and they covered because Ole Miss only won by 6. So that just lets me know there's a possibility that Ole Miss's defense may still be off a little bit, but the offense is clicking. As usual, that's Lane Kiffin. He's going to have the offense. He's going to have quarterback back or quarterback ready. I don't know if the young man's coming back, but, or if he got hurt, because I didn't watch the game. I didn't get a chance to see that one. I just caught up with it later. And, of course, Wisconsin versus Alabama. Alabama did cover. We were, I think, an 18.5-point favorite by the time the books closed before the game. And we were able to cover that thing, get up out of there. Looking at the team stats from that game, it's really special to look at. Alabama was 2 for 8 on third down conversions. Remember I told you earlier we were like 50-50. We were 1 for 4 in the whole game. That's not good, people. You want to be 5 for 8. You want to be 7. You want to be 8 of 8 or 7 of 8, but 5 for 8 is like the minimum. So against Wisconsin, no matter what you think about them, 2 for 8 on third downs, and we let them get 6 first downs. They converted 6 of 11 third downs. Not good. We did good, hold them down in total yards. They only had 209 total yards. They really couldn't move the ball against us that well. We kept them under 100 yards rushing, which is always great, but we only had 72 yards rushing. And Ty probably had most of that or a good percentage of it. We had 22 rushing attempts, which wasn't horrible. Because like I said, I think we scored quickly. And so that wasn't horrible because we only threw the ball 30 times. Still kind of pass heavy, 60-40. But I was glad in the press conference the other day, the boy said it. He said you run, so you pass. First he said you pass to set up the run, and you run to set up the pass. It seemed like he was kind of correcting himself or making sure he said that. Like, I don't know if the AD said, hey, man, before you say you pass to run the ball around here again, think about the cost of your tires in your car. So he made sure he said it to let us know that, yeah, I know we run, you got to have that balance. You got to do both. So this wasn't horrible because, like I said, it was 60-40 to the pass side of the game, and I get it. But I still say those 22 rushes, what did I say it was, 22 rushing attempts. I just think you need to have like 16 of those and should have been going to the running backs. All those running backs, 4 of them as active counter with Jam coming back 5. And those running backs got to split just a couple of carries. That's crazy. Penalties, give field goal. Assume that you kick a touchback, you give somebody 57 yards, they put them on like the 23-yard line. That's 3 points. That's it. We had 7 penalties for 57 doggone yards. Did good on the turnover thing. Bray Hubbard had the 2 interceptions, and our time possession was 28 minutes and 56 seconds. They had the ball more than half the game, and I don't like it. That's because we don't run the ball. So Ty Simpson, wonderful game. Ty Simpson, 24 of 29. That's over 80%. 382 yards, 13 yards average, no interceptions. Very important number. QBR of 89.8. I don't know much about how the rating system works for that. 4 touchdowns. Somebody say Heisman? It's too early, too soon. You got to go halfway through. Just to get that man in New York could bring us to the Austin Mack era of Alabama football. If he gets to New York, he got to strike when the iron's hot and get up out of there because I think he's proved himself. He's been sitting in college too long anyway, or long enough. I'm surprised Austin Mack, he was 0 for 1. He was 0 for 1 on pass plays. Come on, Austin, get yourself together. No. They get that man a QBR of 0.3. That's just dead wrong. That's a mathematical equation, I guess. So when you look at the rushing, 6 for 25. So we had 72 yards rushing. Ty Simpson had a third of it. Kevin Riley had 7 rushes for 20 yards. And then later, I see they brought in the big back, not Kevin Riley, Dre Washington is kind of big. He's a heavy-handed guy. He came in and had 2 rushes for 13. It's just not enough carries back there. Even A.K. Deer got in the game. I ain't like that. You saw what Ryan Williams made the big splash plays. 5 receptions, 1 huge drop, 1 humongous drop. Yes, that's the only one I can even remember because they were telling us we got to learn to catch the ball. I think Jeremy had a ball that he may have dropped or it's just a bad pass. I think it was a bad pass to him, but nobody else had no major drops. Maybe Josh, the tight end, maybe had a drop, but that drop that Ryan Williams had was like, yo, it was awful. But anyway, he finished the game with 165 yards. First time he's been over 100 yards in like, let's just say a year worth of game, 10 games, something like that. It's been a while. Averaging 33 yards, a catch, 2 touchdowns, as long as being a screen. What was that, a flanker screen? Yeah, it was screen play because he had the whole offensive line in front of him. I don't even know how they set that up. And he got that for 75 yards. But Jeremy was putting in work out there. 4 catches for 62. He had a touchdown as well. Isaiah Horton was putting in work. 5 catches for 48. 9.6 yards was his average. And he finally got his first touchdown with the University of Alabama. Jeremy's average was 15.5. La'Sell Brooks got in there and got two for 30. Kevin Riley caught 3 for 28. Good for him as a running back. And Josh, of course, he got 3 catches for 22 yards. So passing game is not a problem. I kind of felt the reason they didn't run the ball as much. It seemed like they were just going ham with the pass plays. They wanted to just clear the playbook out, put it all out there and make it happen. Of course, the defense did a great job, in my opinion, not the special team defense, but Yaaayyyy Pierre got a sack. Q Russo had a sack. LT Overton had a sack before he went out of the game. And, of course, London Simmons, who I've already talked about, got a sack as well. So that's 4 sacks. A sack per quarter will keep you in the game. But there's more. I think we missed maybe 2 sacks. And like I said, Bray Hubbard he shut it down with his interception. So there's work to do. Kane Womack talked about the work left ahead for the defense to get ready for Georgia. I think just before I go to the defense, the offense just needs to work on running the ball. I think the offense is kind of clicking at a high level. They've run all the pass plays. Let's figure out how we're going to run directly at people, use these backs to get us into these second and shorts. That is the goal. You get the second and short. I don't care what you do. Even if you do the doggone in and arounds, or I hate them. I hate those sprints. I don't like running the little receivers across the line of scrimmage because sometimes when they get popped, it ain't cute. And a lot of fumbles happen like that. But anyway, I think the offense is doing good, but I think we got some problems on defense that they want to work on. So the road record lately has been horrible for the Crimson Tide, and we're going on the road. It's been really bad. It's like roughing and trying to do a hike blindfolded, 4 losses in 5 tries. And it's time to flip that script around because you're going to Athens, and that place will eat you alive. The real enemy is this adversity. I don't know if it's because they're not comfortable in their skin or, Womack wants them to be very aggressive and to play like, just play hard in his, hostile territory. He's calling out the past performances. He's trying to go over these things, but it just keeps on happening. I mean, long and short, defense just melted down when the lights came on in another stadium. It's almost like they were shooting basketballs, but they just don't play well with the lights on in other stadiums, and that's just silly. I mean, Georgia came back on Tennessee. Remember the comeback they did on us last year? But the clock ran out, and we got an interception, but the clock did run out. Womack wants them to use some grit, go out there and grind, don't panic. He said we need the same DNA that we have at home to go out there in the jungles of the SEC and bring back these victories. And I agree with him. He was preaching about resilience and not about the scoreboard, but how do you respond to third and chaos? Well, how we've been responding is not too good. It's almost like we scared to pick up the phone. Georgia's going to come in and do their thing. Georgia's going to be Georgia. We got to get back to being Alabama. Gunner Stockton, no matter what they think about, I ain't never heard no Gunner Stockton. I don't know. He pulled off a big one the other night. So we got to get our swagger back. We need some like sideline CPR. Womack calls this defense a living, breathing organism that needs energy and not excuses. So stop all the playing on your heels and let's get after it. So hopefully he'll be doing that, and maybe he needs some more field generals. Having Tim Keenan back on the field probably will help with that energy. It help with DeBoer's energy, Coach DeBoer's energy, and maybe it'll help with getting a guy back out there. Maybe we got a bunch of silent leaders out there, but Tim Keenan seems to be very vocal. So ready to get out there and make it happen, but I just don't know. Bray Hubbard, for one thing, he had a big bounce back. He got a big heart. He's out there. He got himself together, but I'll have more on him in a second. But he did like to play a Deontay Lawson, stepping up like a senior with his anticipation, leadership, and physicality. With his knee injury, he's kind of having to get used to that feeling and trusting that knee again. I know a lot of people don't know how that feels, but sometimes you got to lay them down and you got to do certain things with it. It could be an arm. You may not feel comfortable doing things, but it seems like he's kind of working his way through that and getting back to where he needs to be. The pass rush has improved, but Womack, I don't think he likes blitzing, but he says he's dedicated to saying if the 4-man pressure don't work, then he'll dial up something spicy. Well, he might as well get ready to, because he's going to dial up something spicy. You're going to be getting a doggone DBs burn up like, French toast at a 5 a dime. We just got to get away from all this waiting on the interception to come, making the tackle. We got to force the action up there, Kane. We can't sit back and just let people just go left and right on us or run at us or anything. You can't let people do nothing. That reading rack stuff that's a thing in the 80s that worked for a couple of people, not everybody. And most times people we work for, they just had superior players anyway. So bottom line, we got talent. Now it's time to add the toughness and go out there and execute. No more excuses, just execution. And Bray Hubbard, I wish these guys, I really do understand why Coach Saban did not let people do interviews like they wanted to. This man responded to people calling him soft from how he played at FSU. I wish he just came and said, hey, I was such and such in the night before, and this is such and such, because I don't think he's soft. I think something was in his tummy or in his system that just didn't let him do what he wanted to do. The clip showed him jogging around at Florida State while they were scoring a touchdown, and he became the internet's punching bag. Everybody was on him. They weren't on the Alabama team as much or any other player in the country. They was all on him. There was not a bigger meme on how to be a sorry player than Bray Hubbard after the FSU game. So everybody lit him up like a Christmas tree, but he didn't flinch. He turned that heat into hustle. He says that, it was time for him to, just not just show up, but he showed out, and he did show out. He started hitting people pretty hard in the ULM game, and he tattooed some people against the Wisconsin game and got 2 interceptions. I mean, the first pick was like a gift wrap one from the quarterback, Danny O'Neal, because he kind of turned his head. Hubbard's eyes got big, put his hands up, and he did it. Snatched the ball there. And the second one was he was in coverage. The man tried to do a 7-cut on him. Tight end tried to do a 7-cut, and he said, not today. And he went there and got it. So everybody's, applauding his great play over the last couple of weeks. Deontay Lawson said he's been practicing like a man that's possessed, and it showed. Q Russo said, that is the Hubbard that I know. Flying around, smacking helmets, playing like he was lined up against them critics that was talking about him like a dog a couple weeks ago. So, we allowed 7 points in the last couple games, but the Florida meltdown wasn't just a coincidence. There are issues there. And being on the road could be part of it. Why, I don't know. So Hubbard told people, said, call me soft. I don't care. I play hard every week. Okay. So he's out there trying to match the energy. But the writer said, in this 24/7 article, it said that the man is not back. He's better. And if this new Bray Hubbard is what people can expect, then SEC offenses may want to start praying early. Hey, Bray, come here. It should not take all of this, you getting your ego crushed, for you to start playing like the man who played last year. See, last year you did this every game you were blessed to be in. You did all this. I mean, you did all this. Just go look at what should inspire you is looking at the last 15 or 20 people who played that position on the same field you practice on and on the fields you dominated before, the fields that you screwed up on. We played Florida State. We didn't play Florida State in Atlanta. We didn't play them in Tallahassee. But now that, you got Wisconsin and ULM under your belt, keep that same energy for hopefully 13 more games. The same energy. I don't understand. You wanted the proud and privileged people to play at the University of Alabama under all that legacy, though, Bama built legacy, legends are made here. You do all that. How about, all of y'all players? Don't do no more interviews until the next, hopefully, 13 games are over. I'm throwing that hopefully in there because that's playoffs and winning in the playoffs. Stop all these interviews. Nobody needs to hear this crap from you guys. Tell me you're inspired by a loss at Alabama. That's crazy talk. It's just crazy talk to me. I don't appreciate it because that's not who y'all guys supposed to be. Well, that's quite enough words for the day flying out of my pie hole. So talking about my Alabama football players getting motivated after a loss it's making my breath stink, man. I don't even like this. Motivated, inspired, moved. My flame is lit because we lost. Now you taking it serious now? Should have been serious back in spring when you start vying for positions or saying, hey, I'm the better person to start at this position. Keep that same energy, guy. I don't know. How did this? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It's crazy. But join me Thursday for Around the Herd. I'll come in here at 6 on Thursday. I'll share more about my Crimson Tide and go over the games that I'll be ignoring my family for this weekend. I don't know if I have 10 or if it'll be 7, but I'll let you know what games I'll be looking at. And I will be watching something as the Tide hopefully is working out real hard. They need to rest like next Tuesday. Just do all chalk talk from Tuesday. But, a couple times this week, they need to be busting heads. I know you probably let them go home or something like that. Anyway, don't forget to smack that subscription button and flick that notification so you know when I go live or drop a video, and share this link and help build a Crimson Tide and fun-loving audience. So be sure to hit that like icon right in the eye so that, you ain't got to do nothing. The algorithm will let them know, hey, you like the Crimson Tide. Hey, check this guy out. Tell your friends they can find me right here on Facebook or right on YouTube at Tight Sports. And sometime I'm out there at the Tight Sports talk on the Badlands or Twitter. I'm about to get me a doggone, what do you call it? A ticketed talk account. Because that X, whew, they be going crazy. Shout out to B Sharps and Sharp Shooters Podcast, Kangaroo Black, Bama Mo. The Long Run with Piano Man, Rags and Fitness. Roll Tide to all of you, and thank you for making Alabama great always. Peace out to the brothers at Auburn Addicts. What a Cooler Podcast, Bub and Old Man. It's SE season with my man Tez, Dustin at Uptempo Podcast, the Huggy Beard himself, and Vandy Chris at the Golden Broom. Congratulations, Vandy Chris, whose team has cracked the top 20 for the first time in a long time. I don't want to say ever because I don't know the history like that. But they number 20. All these people I just mentioned, they are a fine group of Crimson Tide, Haiti, and Doubting Americans. Now, I just want to let y'all know before I get out of here. Vanderbilt is ranked above Notre Dame. Vandy is 20th. I think they're 2-1 or 2-0, maybe 3-0. Vanderbilt is ranked in the top 25 at number 24 at 0-2. Yeah, that makes sense. It happens all the time. Nothing to see here. Just Notre Dame and a heap of reporters with their lips planted squarely on their golden dome backsides. It just don't make no sense. It's just dumb, son. I mean, that don't even make no sense to nobody. How are you going to be ranked number what? After 3 weeks of football play, actually week 0, 1, 2, and 3, you ain't won a game and you still ranked in the top 25? They said my Crimson Tide get favoritism. We don't get favoritism like that. How can that even be possible? That's insane. And then when you go look at the other teams that are like got votes and everything, so, come on now. Put Notre Dame behind where they're supposed to be. Sorry, Coach Freeman, I just got to keep it real. Y'all wrote the schedule out and you suck. Now watch they end up at 10-2 and back in the playoffs. I bet they won't go to the finals though. Because they did this last year, but it was Northern Illinois. They got it together. Now they got 2 L's. 2 L's. But with that, we'll see you this Thursday at 6 and of course next Tuesday at 7. I'm still trying to do this JV season. We had this fixed in a month. I think I'm gonna try to go back to just doing it at 5 on Thursday. But this Thursday we will be on at 6. And we'll get it all worked out. So I look forward to seeing you all then. And you know how we do it around here. Always remember, folks, whatever you do, roll, tide, roll.